What if I told you your local business was missing out on leads from Google right now? There's a simple tactic that your competitors are probably doing, and if you're not doing it, then you're absolutely leaving money on the table. No local SEO strategy is complete without location pages. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what a location page is, how it can benefit your business, the tweaks you need to make so that way you could turn a good service page into a location page targeting a different area in your service area. And we're going to cap the video off with some real results and some tips you need to follow if you want to see similar results. And of course, you know how YouTube works. We got a timeline right here. So if you know the basics, skip ahead. All right, so let's jump right into it with the basics to make sure we're all on the same page. So what are location pages and how can they help your small business get more leads from Google? Location pages are ways to target the other locations in your area. For instance, I'm wearing a Bend Elks hat right now. So let's say your business is in the main town in the area, Bend, Oregon. But let's say you also want to target Redmond, which is the next town over, and also the home of the Oregon Lightning of the AF1. Well, you're probably going to put most of your energy towards targeting your main city. But if you could also service another city that's nearby, which most service businesses can, then you might be leaving money on the table by not targeting that area. Also, another big benefit of targeting these smaller towns around you is that the competition might not be as stiff. And you're going to see in a few minutes during our example, that's exactly how a web design company was able to get some business in a town 2 towns over before they were able to get any real business from their main town. Now you might be wondering, how do I make location pages? And the answer to that is you want to utilize your service pages as the templates for your location page. Now make sure you've checked out this video where I give away my perfect on-page SEO strategy, because that's exactly how you build a solid service page that's totally targeting your keywords perfectly. But once you have your service page dialed in, now it's time to start to expand and see if you can hit some of those nearby locations. For instance, this is a search for SEO Bend, Oregon. You can see the company that's ranking first there, then Can Designs. Let's see how their service page looks. And we can see that this company, whoever they are, they've done things like including their main keyword in their SEO title. They also end their meta description with a clear call to action and have their keywords in there naturally, so that way they get bolded or highlighted. In the permalink, they also have their keyword. And in the H1, they have their keyword. And as you scroll down, like we talk about in the on-page SEO video, they have SEO in there just enough, but not too much. So that way it reaches that keyword density that we're looking for. So how can we prep this page to target another location? So of course, you want to start by hitting the SEO hotspots. Those are going to be the SEO title, the meta description, and the permalink. Especially if this isn't your homepage, then what shows up after the slash is going to be massively important for showing up higher. Now, what about on the page? So you can see here, we actually have a couple places where we're mentioning the city. So we have it here in the H1. So we're going to want to make sure we change that. We also have it here in the body copy. So we want to change that. This little logo thing right here does mention the main city, but that's okay. If we were trying to target a different area really far away, we might want to get rid of that graphic, but this is the main hub city in this town, so I think that's fine. Now, over time, I mentioned the concept of V2 service or location pages, and what I mean by that is swapping out certain things that are more specific for that location or that service over time. This is a good spot for that. These testimonials are all over the place, and 2 of them are actually for Bend, which is the page we're on right now. That's great. But if we have any testimonials from the next town we want to target, then we should put them on this page. Right now, this is just talking about the process. By the way, note to self, need to update that. Nice transparent pricing here, which can really help with conversions. And by the way, I heard this page has helped this agency make tens of thousands of dollars. So it's got to be a pretty good service page, right? Notice they mentioned Bend right there. They're showing the results here, which is good, but notice that 3 of them are from Bend. So we might want to try to find one for the next location we're going to target. Again, we see Bend here. I think this is a glitch with my screen capture software right here, why this is duplicated. And then we do mention Bend here and here. Now, you pretty much just repeat this process as you go down the page. Like, just show me circling that and that. And as far as the on-page SEO goes, as well as the backend, like that's pretty much it. Again, this is the concept of what I like to call a V1 or a version 1 location page. Just change the bare minimum. Publish the page, get it indexed through Google Search Console, and then just wait. Where is it ranking? Is it showing up very high? you might not have to do anything else. If there's a lot of competition, there's something else you might need to do, and I'll talk about that later on in the video. Now let's talk about what kind of results can you expect for location pages. Well, spoiler alert, I worked on this page before, and we have pretty much the exact same thing, but just like we mentioned, we swapped out Bend for Redmond. So our hat for our shirt. And when you search for SEO Redmond, Oregon, then Can Designs is the second result. And also, like, I don't know about you, but if I were looking at these two companies trying to decide which one to click on, I would rather go with the second one personally. That just seems less keyword stuff to me. And if they can rank that high without having to throw SEO in there 3 times, I'd kind of want to work with that company versus this one, right? No offense to SEO Oregon. And you're probably thinking like, well, that was pretty cool, but like, what do the results look like? And I can tell you that we do this for almost every single one of our clients. And the second we do it, we start to see a boost in metrics. Remember, when it comes to SEO, the first thing you want to see is you're showing up on search engine result pages. Then you want to be ranking higher. That's going to result in more impressions on Google, which are people seeing you on Google, and that's going to get more traffic to your site. At that point, it's up to the website to do its job and for you to close the deal. But SEO is really involved with showing up higher on Google and encouraging those clicks through. Now, if you look at this graph around here, we launched a bunch of location pages, and you can see on average, we were getting seen about 300 or 400 times per day, which is pretty good. And then all of a sudden, we started to consistently see 700 or 800 days. After that, we started to build some authority, and yeah, things have just kind of been going from there. But by being able to get that spread, that's really helped out. And in fact, for Then Can Designs, when they first got started, one of the very first websites that they built was a landing page for a small company out in Madras, which is 2 towns down the road. Well, I guess there's more towns than that, but 2 main towns down the road. And sure, it wasn't the biggest, coolest project they ever did, but in those early days, as most entrepreneurs know, sometimes you just need another client, so that way you can pay the rent. So in the early days, Then Can Designs wasn't ranking for Bend, but because it was able to build up this kind of fortress of high ranking sites on the outskirts of Bend, the Bend pages started to rank higher. And like I mentioned earlier, that business has gotten well over, gosh, it's probably been over 25,000. And at this point, they've gotten well over $30,000 just from Google. And by the way, this doesn't just work for web design and SEO agencies. This also works for George, who's a cabinet maker in our town, and you can check out that video over there. And by the way, George makes way more money than Then Can Designs does from Google. So there you have it. Now you know what a location page is, how it can benefit your business, what you need to do with a top-notch service page to turn it into a location page, and the kind of results you can see by launching location pages. Now, the last thing I want to say is you want to be careful. You don't want to build these pages out too far apart. Stay in your service area, which Google recommends is about a 2-hour driving distance away. And also, I would not release 100 pages at once. We typically do about 1 per week, and we usually keep it at a low number. Sometimes it's as low as 4, sometimes it's as high as like 16. We really try to focus on the heavy hitters, and by the way, you can double check that with this free keyword research tool. Now, let's say you do want to target a different city, maybe in a totally different state, because maybe you can work with your clients online. I think you can really only take that risk if you've built up authority, which you need to do through locally and industry relevant backlinks. And I'm pointing at a video that's going to show you exactly how to handle that more advanced local SEO topic. It's a newer video that hasn't been getting the love it deserves, but seriously, if you're trying to figure out why you're stuck on Google, go check out that video I was just pointing to. And then last but not least, once you have that authority built up, well, now it's time to check out this video, because we were able to get ourselves ranking on the first page overnight on the other side of the country. Why don't you figure out how we did that? And I'll catch you in that one.